Welcome back to the podcast, and today I'm very excited to announce that I'm joined by Sonya, who is one of our clients on the team that we coach, and today we're going to be talking about her journey and all the amazing lessons that she's learned along the way. Sonya's also doing our photo shoot at the weekend, and she did our last one as well last year, and she's come such a long way even just in this past year. So I'm really looking forward to diving into everything that she's got to say. She's got lots of great advice for all of you watching. So yeah, let's get into it. Well, welcome to the show, Sonya. Really awesome to have you here. Yeah, obviously you did the photo shoot last year when we had it here in Brisbane, and now we're doing your second one, which is awesome. And you've come such a long way in this year as well, and made tons of progress. So just really wanted today to speak about your journey, and I think it'll be super useful for people just to hear more about everything you've learned. And yeah, I know you've got a really inspiring journey, and you're definitely going to be inspiring a lot of people around you. So it'd be awesome to run through all that today. So first of all, welcome.
Thank
And
you.
yeah, I just to kick things off, I guess I just want to go back to the start,
Yeah.
like when we first started working together, because that's obviously was the start of your journey,
Mm.
and just so we can get a comparison from where you were to where you are now, how would you say, just to summarize, like how would you say you were feeling in general before we started working together, when you were like that old Sonya, that past version of yourself?
Well, I didn't really enjoy looking at the person that I was seeing in the mirror. And yeah, I wanted to get some of that back. I really wasn't doing much actively, and I wanted to do something about it. And because at the time, I was 53. And, I realised time's moving on, and I don't have a lot of time to get myself back into being active, having a healthier lifestyle. So for me, that was the big push, was my age.
Yeah,
And, like I said, time was running out, and I needed to start doing something now before it got too late. And I don't have any health issues, so I didn't
yeah,
want to when it becomes later on
yeah,
in
you'd
my
rather
years. I
be.
didn't want to have those health issues that I could potentially get. So that was a real focus for
Yeah.
me.
And I think I do remember sort of speaking about this with you, with health, it just being preventative about it is just always so much better about that than being reactive to
Yes.
it. And unfortunately, that's what a lot of people fall into the trap of. They just think, oh, everything's okay.
Yeah.
And then something happens sort of later down the line. So I know that was a massive motivator for you. And you said there about your age as well. And a lot of people will use that as an excuse. So why do you think you didn't use it as an excuse? Why did you choose to use it as a motivation instead?
Well, because I think I wanted to be selfish for a change, because I'm always helping other people out, whether it be financially, emotionally, all of that type of stuff. So I just wanted to take a little bit for myself and be selfish, and, invest in my health,
Yeah.
invest in, having a better future for myself, and to be able to be here longer for my family. And I've got grandchildren. So,
Yeah.
that was a real
Yeah.
motivator for me
Yeah.
to,
Yeah.
so I was selfish.
Yeah. But you say selfish, but also when you've been speaking about it just there, it's still to do with people around you as well, right? So
That's right.
it's not sort of too selfish, because your goals are still about other people as well as
Yes.
yourself. And yeah, I think that's obviously been something that we've worked on as well, is really making sure that you you don't feel like you're being too selfish,
Yeah.
and it's just sort of selfish a little bit in a good
Yeah.
way.
Well, should I say not selfish then? Maybe put the focus more on myself than
Yeah,
other
yeah, yeah,
people. So,
yeah,
that's probably a better way of putting it.
yeah, yeah. And just, yeah, sort of having a little bit of that selfishness is okay, and it's a good thing, I guess. Yeah, 100%. And like I said, you've come obviously such a long way since we have started working together, which has just been an amazing
Yes.
journey to
Oh,
see, especially because obviously, as you said, that was something you were sort of really focused on at the start
yeah.
with your being preventative about your health and being there for everyone around you. It's really awesome to have that strong motivator
Yeah.
right at the start to really propel you forwards on that. And like right from the start, when you first joined the team, you were just like right from the start, it would just like go, and you were just flying right from the start. So when you did take the leap
Yeah.
and you did get started, how did it feel for you once you made that step?
Oh, it was just good to make that initial step. And because of the program, I believed I could actually be accountable. And that's really why I jumped on the program, because I believed it would make me be accountable because of all the steps you had to take, all of the, the check-ins, having to take photos and stuff like that of everything you eat. And to me, I needed something like that because I've started and then just fallen by the wayside. And I knew that this program was going to keep me accountable.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
and that belief is a very powerful thing, because if you believe that you can do it, then obviously, as you've realized, like anything's possible. So
that's
that's
right.
really cool, and it's really, really important to have that for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
From your perspective, then, when you were struggling before, do you think that was just down to the fact that you didn't have that belief that you could do it? Or because obviously when you joined, as I said there, you were off to an amazing start, and you were just flying, and you just got right into it, and you're just making amazing progress week after week, and it's just been insane momentum like right from the start.
Yeah.
So why do you think that was, that it literally just sort of flicked that switch for you?
I think it was just, it was the program itself for me. I knew that I could do something, but I needed those step by
Yeah,
step
yeah,
things for me to be able to accomplish my goals. And for me, the initial call with you and getting those steps and those guidelines, I really, really believed that I could do it.
yeah,
And when I do something, I usually will stick with it. Obviously, sometimes when it comes to your health and your healthier lifestyle, you don't always stick with it. But I knew that this program
yeah.
was going to help me achieve those goals, and I knew that I'd stick to it.
Yeah, yeah. And like you said there with the healthy lifestyle, I think some people imagine a healthy lifestyle as a perfect lifestyle, and it's just redefining what that actually is, because being healthy is about having that balance and the
That's right.
consistency, and people think healthy is just perfect, and not having any sort of different meals or just living some sort of miserable life. And then that's obviously why they then don't do it. But yeah, I think that's definitely been a big shift as well. And I think for a lot of people, they sometimes struggle to understand there'll be situations like yourself where you've obviously you've made so much progress since you've joined, like since you've had that right structure and accountability and everything we've spoken about there.
Yes.
But you were obviously at that point before where you were struggling. I think some people, they don't sort of understand that it's possible to sort of let yourself get to that point when you do, because you've obviously got that inside of you. You've got that drive, right, to achieve these
Yes.
things because you've obviously made it happen.
Yeah.
So yeah, why do you think it is that you got to that point where you were not happy with how things were, but you did still have that inside of you to make that change? Like, why do you think that was?
I think it was more motivational. I didn't feel motivated. I knew I was capable of doing these things, but I needed the motivation.
Yeah.
And the reason why I sort of looked at your social media was because I actually saw Zai.
Mm.
And I was amazed by his transformation. And I actually, when I saw it, I thought, I want some of that.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
that was the motivation that I needed. So and it was just, I didn't even know Zai,
Yeah.
but it was just through social media that I saw him and I just thought,
Yeah.
I want that,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know.
yeah.
And at
Okay.
that time I was looking, I was searching, but I just didn't have the motivation, and that was my motivation
Yeah.
right there.
Yeah. So that
Was
was
just
really
the
like
picture.
your the moment for you.
Yeah, that was the light bulb moment,
Yeah, that's
the
awesome.
switch, and it was, I was searching and I didn't realize how hard I was searching, or, how much I really, really wanted it until I saw
Yeah.
Zai.
Yeah. That's really cool. The motivation is yeah, an interesting one because for for a lot of people they think, oh, I'm not feeling motivated right now, so I shouldn't get started. But actually that's when you do need to start to, get that motivation back as
That's
well.
right. That's right.
I think obviously for yourself, the motivation, obviously motivation is always going to be up and down, but
Yeah,
you can really create that a lot at the start, that motivation through the things you're implementing and the changes you're making.
that's right.
And I could just see from you and how you were, like that motivation increasing like from the start when you obviously take the leap and get started on something. You obviously joined us, you were making changes,
Yes,
getting more motivated, and that's
that's
what really
right.
propels you. Yeah, I mean, with motivation, then, whilst we're talking about it, how would you say that now along the journey you've dealt with ups and downs in motivation?
I've had a few, like in the beginning, I was smooth sailing. Just recently, I've had a few ups and downs, but the knowledge that I've gained through the program, I was still able to maintain, even though I wasn't able to obviously do everything that I usually would on the program. I wouldn't go gung ho, like eating everything under the sun. I would still stick to good, wholesome foods,
Yeah,
regardless of, the background,
yeah,
everything going on in the background. It's that knowledge that I have gained since being in the program that I've been able to still maintain
yeah. You
what
think
I've
it's
lost.
a lot down to the knowledge that you've been able to sort of
To apply
be
it, yeah, to
consistent, yeah,
apply it to my daily life, even though I wasn't probably doing the program
like perfectly.
as yeah, perfectly. And you know what, and that opened my eyes as well. Like it, I actually beat myself up a little bit
Hmm.
because I was feeling a little bit discouraged. But then I realized, also through speaking with you, celebrate the wins, and
Yeah,
don't,
100%.
be proud of where
Yeah,
I've come
definitely.
from, where I was. And
Yeah,
so those became my motivational
yeah, yeah,
things.
yeah.
So it sort of switched a little bit
Hmm.
because I wasn't where I was at the beginning, but I've been able to maintain. I still have that confidence.
Yeah.
Like I said, I was still trying to eat wholesome foods
Hmm.
and, not just go out and eat
Yeah.
everything under the sun.
And
So,
those are the like those are the
that,
wins as well.
yeah,
Yeah.
and I've realized that those are wins too, and
Yeah.
that I need to enjoy those wins as well.
Definitely.
So,
There's times there's phases to it, isn't it? And
yes,
obviously this is something we speak about anyway with your dieting phase, the muscle building
yes,
phase, and there's just phases to your life in general and to your year. Obviously last year, most of the year was really awesome for you, and
yes,
you were just used to and you normalized like having wins every single week and
yeah,
just smashing it.
yes,
But
yes,
yeah, it's just then when maybe there are some bumps in the road, you just can take a step back. And if you've obviously you set high standards for yourself, which is a great thing, but also then just making sure that you are being proud of what you've
yes,
achieved as well is really important. And I know we've obviously spoken about that a lot, and
that's right.
it's important to take that step back because you're obviously a completely different person from when you first started working with us,
That's
which
right.
is amazing. And yeah, being able to remember that, and if there are a few bad weeks or even a couple of bad months,
Yeah,
overall still made amazing progress. And even within those bad months,
yeah,
still celebrating wins out of those where possible, because like we speak about, there's always something positive that you can take out of any situation, no matter how sort of hard it might seem in the moment. And I think that's a big shift in mindset as well that you've had.
it is, and it was hard to do that shift. But once I embraced it, I realized, that these are great milestones. Even to just shift in that manner to me
Yeah.
was a big thing for me,
Yeah.
because I guess I do put a lot of pressure on myself. I have a lot of expectations for myself, and when I go for something, I'll go for it. So it was, I had to step back a little bit and just look at the whole picture. And with your guidance, I was able to do that.
Awesome.
And, I was able to ride that little wave that I wasn't actually enjoying, but I was able to get through it.
Yeah. Awesome. And I mean, the expectations of yourself being high, do you think that's another reason why you weren't really happy with how things were for you at the start when we first started? Well, just before we got
Yeah, I
started.
think so. I think so, because I had, I set myself goals, and I like to get to my
Yeah.
goal, but at the same time, I realised, the progress to get to that goal, even though I may not have achieved that last goal that I set, the
Yeah.
progress still, I'm so close.
Yeah.
Keep going, you're going to get there. So that's
Definitely.
what's been keeping me
Yeah.
motivated, and
And at the start then, when you had those goals that you knew you wanted to achieve,
yeah,
obviously you knew you wanted to lose weight, you wanted to be
yes.
healthier, you wanted to be fitter, stronger. When you knew that you had those goals, but you weren't taking action on it before we started, like what was that like for you, knowing that?
Well, knowing previously that I couldn't achieve those goals, it was heartbreaking. It was so discouraging. I would just was so numb, if you can say that. But like, I'd be smiling on the outside, but on the inside, I wasn't very happy. I was just smiling to make everyone think that I'm happy, when deep down I really wasn't happy. And then being able to achieve those goals and to start actually just doing the initial start of the program was a real turn for me. Just taking that step and
Yeah.
being able to work towards that goal that I had. That was the biggest step for me. And once I started, then it was like, it's
Yeah.
like, let's
Then you're
go.
off, you're flying.
Let's
Yeah.
go.
I think what you said there as well about smiling on the outside, but not smiling on the inside, that's obviously sort of ties in with what you were saying earlier with just wanting to be there for other people as well and please other
Yeah.
people, but maybe like neglecting yourself. How have you found that shift to now having that balance of still obviously you're still there for other people and that's a big part of your goals, but how have you found that shift? Because that's something I know a lot of people struggle with, where it's whether it's parents or grandparents
Yeah.
or not even people with kids, but just people that want to be there for their family, whether it's siblings or want to be there for people at work or in the community, whatever it is. How have you found that shift of having the balance of still focusing on other people, being there for other people, but also being there for yourself?
I actually am really enjoying it, because I was a single mum for 10 years after I left the father of my children. And so my focus was always on my children. And I think even though they're adults now, their father's not in their life. And I think I've tried to make up for that all the time. And so I've always just given so much more, I guess, than I probably should have. So I've really pulled right back in every aspect, and the focus is on me now. And I actually love it.
And in turn, you're able to show up as a better version of yourself
That's right.
for everyone around you.
That's right. And they comment how, obviously the transformation physically, but they also comment on how I've changed, just emotionally and everything like that. I just, it amazes me, because I actually thought I was the same person, but they just have reminded me that, I'm so much more confident. I, probably walk with my head up a
Yeah,
bit higher and things like
definitely.
that.
Even speaking with you, obviously from when you first started to now, like having this conversation, you're a completely different person, which is also you don't realize that during the weeks when you're doing your check-ins, it's week to week, and you're obviously with yourself 24/7, right? So
Yes,
you sometimes don't realize those
realise.
things. So when someone else says it to you, it does make you realize. But that's the importance of reflection and remembering how far you have come, because you can forget.
Yes.
So I do think that's really important. When we first started then, was there anything that obviously I know you said you saw the transformations and that was something that really motivated you. Was there anything though that you were maybe like skeptical about going into it, or were you just fully like, nope, like this is going to work, or was there any sort of any doubt there, or?
Yeah, for me, whenever, say about 15 years ago, I used to work out, but I used to have a personal trainer. So for me, I wasn't sure how I was going to cope with the online training.
Yeah.
And if I was going to be able to do that myself. So maybe not skeptical, but I was just like a bit,
Yeah, it's just a bit new.
I'm not sure if I can do that. I enjoyed that push from someone, so I thought, I actually thought that I might struggle with that aspect of the program, but
No.
I didn't. I
Yeah.
didn't at all. And I realized you don't even need a personal trainer. You're your personal trainer.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, that's a good point.
You give yourself that push. Pay yourself to push yourself.
Yeah, yeah,
And, that really switched me.
yeah. And now you're not dependent on someone. You can go to the gym whenever you want, and you don't need to be reliant on someone else.
Not at all. And push yourself, and I've learned to push myself.
Yeah.
Even if I've got to do maybe 20 more steps or whatever, I'll just
Yeah.
I'll even break it down and do two.
Yeah,
Two
yeah.
more.
Definitely.
Two more, because if you look at 20, I can't.
Yeah.
But I've actually taught myself to just break it down a little bit.
Yeah.
Even with reps.
Yeah.
Got
And
10
I
more
think,
to go. Two.
yeah, that's
Two.
something I do as well. Yeah,
Yeah.
you just, breaking it down.
Yeah.
And that goes for everything within your journey, your whole transformation as well. Just breaking things down into small, pieces of the puzzle, putting one foot in front of the other, really,
That's
really
right.
important.
Absolutely.
And I think as well, when you are someone that has high standards for yourself, you want to be able to be in control of being able to go to the gym when you want to, and being able to do these things on your terms as well.
That's
Obviously, like we said, you do have high standards for yourself, and you've really put your all into every other area of your life, with family, with work, with everything. So I know it can sometimes be like frustrating for some people when you've got high standards in all other areas of your life, but you've maybe let those standards slip for yourself.
Yes.
Was that something you felt as well?
I felt like I'd put myself down at the bottom. I would disregard myself, and I'd do everything for everybody else and not worry about myself. When I met you, I decided to put myself up the top.
Make that shift.
Made that shift, and it stayed there.
Yeah.
I've actually, right through.
That's the main thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Just making sure you are maintaining it. That's the most
Yes.
important thing, for sure. Getting over the ups and the downs, and just making sure we are keeping on going,
Yeah.
putting that one foot in front of the other.
That's right.
And so that's obviously been a big thing for you, making that mental shift.
Yeah.
And I know we spoke about the knowledge before was a big part of it as well. Do you think there's anything else that you were sort of struggling with before? Do you think it's mainly like just having that switch with the mindset and the habits and having the knowledge, or was there anything else, do you think?
I think because once I had the knowledge, I was able to integrate that into my daily life.
Yeah, true.
And then also learning how to still be able to eat the foods that I like without stopping them completely.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
And I think that's why you're able to maintain, because you're not completely stopping those foods that you like. You're not starving yourself from the things that you like. You're learning how to integrate it into your week, your month, if you do it every month. But it's doable.
Yeah, just
and
having the balance.
still maintainable. Yes.
And did you try any things before that were like any sort of forms of trying to lose weight? Did you try anything else before?
Yes, I've done like an 8-week challenge and things like that. I had great results, but it was not sustainable.
Yeah. So did you lose weight with them?
Yes, I did, but it was taking a lot of supplements and things like that, and it was a very low calories, very low calories.
They get you with the supplements. They want you to buy all their supplements.
Like a lot of, I was taking vitamins, this and that. I was a lot of supplements, but I didn't want that.
Yeah,
I wanted to eat normally and be able to maintain it.
Yeah.
That was because, you know, like I said, I'm 54 now. It's hard to sustain that type of eating.
Yeah.
Whereas if you're learning how to eat whole foods and,
Yeah.
you know,
I think it's people, even just like the word challenge
Yeah.
is just, you know, like you said, you're 54 and you don't want like the whole rest of your life to just be one massive challenge, right?
That's right.
Obviously, you know, I'm not saying everything wants to be comfortable.
Yeah.
Yes, we do want to challenge ourselves and push ourselves out the comfort zone, but you know, it's not gonna, there's not gonna be no changes that need to be made. Of course, you need to make changes and improve and level up constantly. Like that's obviously what, you know, you want to do and
Yeah.
everyone wants to do that's on the team, but it shouldn't be something that's just so difficult and
Yeah.
miserable. And that's like something that I do think is such a shame with these challenges and things. I know sometimes some people think that they're there and they're, you know, they're a bit of fun or something, but
Yeah.
when something is such a big deal for you, like losing weight and everything we've spoken about today with everything you want to achieve in your life and how you're not happy with where you were, and you're maybe entering something like that to sort of with some hope of the change, and then you're like, oh, there's all this stuff to do and all these supplements, and it's something that's so difficult to stick with. I think it can be tough for some people. Yeah, was it like how did you find those challenges, like when obviously you did lose the weight, but then what was that like for you when it came back after?
Not very good. Like it wasn't a very good feeling. You know, you just like, sort of like a kick in the guts type thing.
Yeah.
So, you know, and that's really why I was looking for a particular program that I knew I would be able to sustain and maintain if I did lose weight.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I guess, but I didn't know
Yeah, it's difficult.
what was out there, you know,
Yeah, it's
because
difficult because the
it's
challenges are quite a popular thing,
that's right.
and it's obviously it's just what's normal to you and just what you're used to, and it's what you
Yeah.
know, right? So I know it can be difficult for some people to realize that, you know, maybe it's going to take a little bit more time, but you do need to set those foundations for
Yeah.
yourself and rewire your habits, change your mindset, and shift into a new identity. It's not just some sort of quick fix.
That's right. And I knew because it was, eh, you know, just gradual. I actually, it was something that really captured me because I knew it was going to be gradual because I didn't want it to be all in like 8 weeks.
Yeah.
And then, you know, I know being gradual, it's
Yeah.
very maintainable.
Yeah, I
you
think
know.
sometimes, yeah, that's a good point. I think sometimes it does take some people to try the challenges to then know that
Yeah.
that's what they don't want,
Yeah.
almost.
Yeah.
Because you know then, right, okay, I don't want that anymore. Like I want to have something that is sustainable, that
Yep.
can just be a way of life,
That's right.
almost. But then, yeah, unfortunately, there are obviously some people that don't find that other thing of changing their habits, and they just assume that, right, if I want to lose weight, I have to do this
Yeah.
terrible, miserable thing.
Keep doing those challenges. Keep doing those
Yeah.
challenges.
And
Yeah.
it's just, you know, obviously a cycle and a pattern there.
Yeah.
Did you find that shift okay of going through that? Because obviously, you know, you do have high standards for yourself and you are really always pushing yourself. So
Yeah.
did you find that okay, shifting from something that was just with a time, like a short time period on, like, or like obviously to then something where you are not just thinking about, oh, where I want to be in 8 weeks, you're obviously thinking about, where do I want to be, what does my life want to look like in 1 year, 2 years? Like how was that sort of change for you with
It
having
was a
those high
good
standards?
change because, you know, I felt like I wasn't, even though I do put pressure on myself, I felt like I wasn't really putting that much pressure on myself because I had time to achieve the goals. You know, obviously we set a goal when I'd like to be a certain amount, a certain weight at a certain time, but it was something that I believed I could achieve, you know, and that I just keep chipping away and get to where I needed to get to. So for me, I think that was really one of the most important changes to realise
Yeah.
that, you know, keep going, just keep chipping away, you
Yeah.
know,
That's
and just slowly. slowly. You kept telling me, every win's a good one,
Mm.
a little bit,
Yeah, and you gotta keep stacking those wins on top of each
Yes,
other.
yes,
Mm.
that's right.
Yeah,
And they were just wins all the time,
yeah. If you
honestly.
it and it really is about changing how you're feeling. Changing your frequency, changing your mindset of how you're feeling by reminding yourself of the wins, because there'll be sometimes some weeks where you'll be like, oh, that was a terrible week, and or something like that along those lines. But if anyone's ever saying that, I'm always like, no, you got to put one win down. Even in the worst
Yes.
week, it's like, oh, okay, my win is still showing up and completing this check-in. So yeah, there's always a win there for sure. What would you say for yourself is the biggest change that you've seen within yourself over like the past couple of years, like from these changes that you've made within your lifestyle? What would you say the biggest changes are for you that you've found within yourself as a person?
I just found within myself, I've sort of just realized that I am important,
Hmm.
that I primarily am very important, and it's okay to put the focus on yourself and put yourself at the forefront because no one else is going to.
Hmm.
I mean, you've got your family and everything else, but that obviously they look after themselves as well. But you primarily are responsible for yourself.
Mm.
And that's really what I've realized
Mm.
is, put that time into yourself, and your health is very important.
Yeah.
Your future is very important. I may not have a longer future than some, but I want my future to be bright. I want my future to be active. I want to
Mm.
be healthy. I want to be there for my children, my grandchildren.
Mm.
And I think like my focus has actually changed, and even my realization of what's important to me has changed even over in the last year,
Mm.
as putting myself at the forefront of everything.
Yeah, yeah. It's obviously I know that's been a big shift for you, really just making that change to
Yeah.
focusing on yourself, which is obviously so important.
Yeah.
And what would you say has been the biggest lessons that you've learned along this journey? Because obviously you've come such a long way and made so many amazing changes. What would you say is the biggest lessons that you've learned within yourself? Like obviously, a big part of it is learning that you need to prioritize
Yeah.
yourself now. But is there anything else that you've sort of think is a big lesson for you that you've taken away from this, about like what you've learned about anything in general?
Yes, I think, uh, take the ups and the downs. I've actually learnt a lot through the downs that I've had, and there haven't been many. But the down times that I've had where I felt I wasn't doing so well, I actually realised that I was. So, it's good to change your mindset to use those down times to realise actually how fortunate and how lucky I have been to actually still have wins in the times when I felt I was down.
Hmm.
So that's been a real switch for me, especially over the last couple of months, is
Yeah.
to really change that mindset,
Mm.
and, don't uh, don't be discouraged,
Yeah.
but, be happy.
Yeah, yeah. It's
Be,
it's it's definitely a fine balance of being critical about yourself, because obviously if you just tell yourself, oh, everything's okay, and it's not okay, then obviously that's a different story, because
yeah,
you just sort of almost lying to yourself, and then it makes things worse down the line. But it is really important to also focus on the positives and
yeah.
be grateful about everything that you have achieved, and it's just a balance of the two, right? It's you
Yeah,
got to find that. I think a lot of people are at extremes. They'll be really super critical on themselves and just be down, and it will just have a negative impact on them.
yeah,
But then some people, they are kidding themselves and saying that, oh no, everything's fine, or making
yes,
excuses. It's just a bit of a balance, I think. And I do definitely think that you've sort of found that balance now, because I think at the start you were obviously very hard on yourself. And now I think you've obviously had some ups and downs, but you've definitely found a great balance there of something that you can be consistent with, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, would you say so?
Yes. And it wasn't easy, but through your guidance and through your assistance, I was able to realize these things, and then I was feeling discouraged, but then you put things into perspective,
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
no longer discouraged.
It is all about that. It's about perspective and just like the lens you take on
Yes.
different situations for sure. And obviously it's been a year now since the last photo shoot.
Yes,
And
yes.
we're going to be, yeah, obviously there's some people on the team that came to the last one that are going to be coming again, which is going to be awesome. And lots of new people on the team coming to this one as well, which is going to be amazing to see everyone. It's at the same studio as well, so it's all going to be really cool. And you've, as we've spoken about, come such a long way since the last one. So yeah, how are you feeling leading up to this one compared to the last one?
I must say, I worked a lot harder for the last one, and it's only because I didn't have the little hiccups that I've had prior to this one. And I actually was thinking of not coming to the photo shoot, but because of the conversations that I've had with you, and you reminding me that you still have to celebrate the small wins.
Definitely.
So I actually had a goal for myself that I'd like to look a particular way for this particular photo shoot.
Yeah.
But I didn't quite get there, but
Yeah,
I'm going to celebrate the wins anyway.
definitely. And you're not even too far away at all from where you wanted to be, but because of the standard you set for yourself, in your mind you've made it.
In my mind, I had a picture.
In your mind, you've made it out as well that you're a lot further away from your goal than you actually are. Like, you're very, very close to your goal.
Yes,
So
that's right.
it's just, it comes back to those standards, and
That's right.
just bringing yourself back to that, I think. And like, compared with the last photo shoot as well, even with the last photo shoot, you'd made so much progress.
Yes.
And then between that one and this one, you've made so much progress as well.
Yes,
So
that's right.
it's pretty amazing. So yeah, you definitely do need to remind yourself of that. And yeah, obviously come such a long way within that year.
That's right.
So just then, specifically from this year, what would you say you're most proud of?
I'm really proud of being able to continue to lose weight, continue to stick to the program, and just have that goal of actually, going for the photo shoot and just setting goals, like goals to achieve. I think that's important, to set goals, because if you're just going and you're not really trying to aim for anything.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah.
I think you don't really know what you're going for. So, I try to set myself little goals as well.
Yeah.
Even like myself, weekly ones for myself.
Yeah.
Just
definitely.
setting those little goals and just ticking them off as you go, and then set another goal.
I think that's a big reason, why you've done so well with your transformation as well, is being clear on your goals.
Yeah.
A lot of people aren't clear on their goals. A lot of people just set generic goals that they've heard from someone else, like, oh, lose 10 kilos or whatever it is, or even just, lift X amount of weight in the gym, but it's not specific to them. And they haven't set specific goals, number one, and they haven't set the goals to do with them and actually why they want to achieve those goals. So yeah, goal setting and clarity on that is obviously very important, especially as we're heading into a new year. So that's obviously something that, as you know, we think is really, really important, having the clarity on the goals, and then also having a really strong why behind your goals, and knowing that of what your why is super important. So yeah, I think that's something that, you've done really well, is reminding yourself of your goals and the reasons behind your goals, and having the big long-term goal, but then breaking it down into smaller goals, whether that's over your training phase, but then also the weekly goals and then the daily goals as well, has been really, really important.
Very.
Last question for me is just, if you had to give some advice to someone that is like right now in a similar position to what you were in a couple of years ago, feeling how you were feeling, what what would that advice be? What would you say to that person?
I would tell them to make that step. That would be the best step they will ever do for themselves, is take that initial step. And honestly, join the program, because it's changed my life in so many more ways than I expected, not just how I look, how I feel. It's a holistic approach for me. And you, Jack, you cover so many areas that I've never seen a program cover. Like, you don't leave anything out. And honestly, to me, you're amazing. I'm so grateful to have accidentally have come across Zai's photo, and I was able to be in contact with you. It's honestly changed my life. And if there's anyone out there that is thinking about it, stop thinking and just do it, because it's been the best thing that I've ever done for myself. And I can't thank Jack enough, honestly.
I appreciate that.
Man,
It's been awesome having you on the team, Sonya, and it's been a real pleasure to just see the changes that you've made. It's the best thing for a coach to see, is just to, see their clients putting in the work and changing their life, because, I can, right from the start see the potential in you for, everything that you're able to achieve, and then for that to just unravel and for you to achieve everything that you've done is just amazing. So massive well done to you as well, and looking forward to this photo shoot.
Oh,
And
me too.
yeah, thanks for coming along today. It's been awesome to just chat through everything. Really looking forward to this photo shoot and celebrating all your hard work.
Yes.
And yeah, looking forward to it.
Awesome. I can't wait. Let's
Awesome.
go.
Thanks, Sonya.
Thank you, Jack.
So thanks very much for watching. I know that would have been very, very useful for a lot of you watching that. One of my favorite takeaways was where Sonya was talking about the moment that really sort of inspired her to make the change and get started with her journey, even though she was 53 years old, just making sure she was turning that into a motivation rather than a reason why she shouldn't get started. Hopefully that really inspires a lot of you watching this to get started with everything that you want to achieve in your life, and realize that anything is possible as long as you are really having a strong vision for yourself, and that you're taking the steps required to achieve that. So I know that was very inspiring for me to speak about with Sonya, and I know that would have been awesome for you guys to listen to as well. So yeah, thanks very much to Sonya for coming along today, and looking forward to sharing her results from the photo shoot. And thanks for watching, guys, and we'll see you in the next one.